take two. My first one wasn't carried over. Anyway, I'd like to show you that this I had a hard time with Fair Gentlemen of Belken County because the descriptions are more frank. Example: I was home after 3 years and more, discharge papers, the bag everywhere. Period. So everything plays more to my imagination. All I can sense here is that the whole thing, the whole story has a sense of hominess or common common surroundings or atmosphere to the main character. Another thing is just very frank. So you I just play the setting here through the way the author acts out. So like Don Celso blew his nose a couple of times and chuckled now and then at the things Charlie used to do. Then reminisced about the time a calf threw me into the cactus patch. He, Don Celso, had pulled me out and there I was, all covered with thorns. We turned in around 10. One of the girls said my room was ready. It was Charlie's old room. So from here, it just imagine that must be the place used to be like an old barrio where there's still cactus and just like the old west. And at the same time, he goes into a room of familiarity because it was Charlie's old room. Maybe he used to go there. And the next day around 7, I was already on the porch when I spotted Don Celso coming in from the goat pens. So you just imagine Don Celso just walking in ragged clothes with the sun already shining while so that's all I can just generate from this setting of part 2. Part 3, however, I noticed that the setting was must be a common room or something for him to talk to Doña Barbarita very easily and just like family. So that's my assessment of things, that everything is just a recall, very homey, very common for him. Everything seems to be like a monotone till they discussed about his wife's death. They discussed his wife's death like it's just like any other day. The day began like any other day in March in the valley, cool, somewhat sunny inland, but with dark clouds over the Gulf. The family gathered near the Vilches riverbed in Tulaca. I'd gone with Israel to Rio Rocco to get who knows what for that afternoon when rain and hail storm caught up. When we did get back, Israel and I were laughing, so clear through and covered with mud. But when we got back to the picnic grounds, we knew something was up, something serious, deadly. So everything has a familiarity except that it's deadly. Period. That's it. So nothing too much from the scene. So you know there's a mystery there, but deadly. It's deadly. That's it. Duh. even even the way she discussed his something like his closeness to Pepe Vielma. She would also describe what type of home he has. It's clean, so must be orderly. It's clean. It must be bright, shiny, but at the same time, it shows a common bonding between the two friends. As my feather sister, she ran the house. Ours was somewhat like Vielma in cleanliness and order, and also in a certain ambience. While we didn't have the Vielma strictness, we did have the same peace and quiet. At our house, problems were pulled through. No yelling of any kind, not even that when Uncle Julian brought my father dead atop the horse just prior to my 8th birthday. So it showed a certain common commonness to common feelings with the Bielma household, but there was no mystery. It just shows calmness, the homey feel, the normal thing that he could have expected. So nothing unusual, not just like the other one. Um, when his wife died, the word deadly sounded not sarcastic, but an opener. That's it. Period. Deadly. It has more impact compared to explaining a lot of things. And this is the last thing I want to notice. The the Bielma house, a lot smaller than I remembered it, was as neat as usual with everything in place. The door to the twins' bedroom immediately to the right was closed. So it showed how he knows everybody. He not knows everybody, but he knows the place so well that he doesn't need to describe it. It's just there. And he even described this place. Maybe this is the only thing that I can see as of now. Um, Without a word, he and I set about opening the window that faced the east and the west while the table was being laid out. For me, it showed a change. Well, this is already almost the end of the story, and the change here is that how Rafe opened up about Pepe's death, and that gives Don Producio and the family a sense of fulfillment to know that their son died. Died with somebody. I think that's the best consolation there is, that their son was not alone.